Out of the music world, where it's time for a farewell of sorts, Taylor Swift has just concluded her 18-month Eras tour with a final concert in Vancouver, Canada. For more on this, Solange Mujan joins me in the studio. Solange, you're taking a deep dive into Swift mania for us. For example, if one's not a big Taylor Swift fan, why would we care? Are we making too much of this?
Well, if you were a Swiftie, you'd probably quote one of her lyrics and say, "Let the haters hate, hate, hate," and just shake it off. But jesting aside about all the Taylor love, there are a number of interesting angles about this global phenomenon that is Taylor Swift, even for those that are not fans of hers. Of course, there's Taylornomics, or how she has boosted economies by millions worldwide. There are also societal discussions here about how her shows have been religious-like experiences for many people, how they've created a sense of community for some, but also how they've led to questions of feminism, questions of female rage, of representation. There is also a whole other music industry aspect about how Swift has altered the concert experience or may alter it in the future. But before we jump into all of that, let's crunch the numbers. The Eras Tour was announced in November 2022 and began in March last year with a US leg and then a global one. Overall, Swift held 149 shows. She traveled to 53 cities on 5 continents and sang to over 10 million fans. Now, the Swift team does not communicate how much money they made on tickets, but it is thought to have brought in a $2 billion range in ticket sales, making it by far the biggest tour in history when it comes to revenue. Not only has it propelled Swift into the billionaire stratosphere in her own right, but it has also created this thing, the Swiftonomics, for all of that extra revenue. Now, this is harder to quantify than her actual revenue, but the Japanese bank Nomura estimated that just the US leg generated $5 billion in consumer spending. The magazine The Economist, it wonders if Swift is, quote, the imperfect capitalist. They say she probably earned about $10 million per show for herself, but she could have raked in actually 5 times more that had she selected more American cities and fewer ones abroad, where ticket prices are often considerably lower, as we see in that graph there. They say, The Economist says that the prize the prize of highest median ticket went to Indianapolis, where it was over $1,300. That's the face value. The resale there was 10 grand. But beyond those astronomical figures, there's also a trend. Unlike other megastars like Beyonce or Elton John, Swift's resale prices grew as the tour went on. Usually, it's actually quite the opposite. But here, demand grew, with Swift fans not wanting to miss out on this cultural experience or this once-in-an-era show.
All right, well, let's talk about the fans, Solange, because for Swifties, this is more than just a concert, isn't it?
Yeah, Swift concerts are, for many Swifties, akin to a religious experience. Not only have there been testimonies of sort of trance-like states, of memory blackouts, but these concerts are quite ritualistic in and of themselves. One of those rituals is screaming, "Take me to church, Taylor," during the "Don't Blame Me" song. Other rituals include double claps during musical bridges or special shout-outs like "F the Patriarchy," "Facts," "Sydney." It's insider stuff that Swifties love. They're also tailgating gatherings. They're called taygatings, where fans sing lyrics together outside the concerts. Some 40,000 people in Munich who didn't have tickets, they gathered on a hill outside the venue to partake in the Eras show from outside the arena. And of course, there's the trading of friendship bracelets, of getting all bedazzled, like fans did just before the last show.
Love her, and thank you so much for empowering young women. I think she's great.
Just like everybody here and like trading bracelets and like the relationships is so awesome.
The sense of community is something that really is amazing. Like walking down the street today, I saw so many people just like come up to us and like just wanted to trade bracelets and just like speak with one another.
Now, this sense of community has a lot to do with Swift's audience. Many of them are millennials, Gen Z, teen girls. And here, there's much talk about how Swift is, for many of them, a feminist icon. She's a role model. Not only is she the embodiment of a successful career woman, but she's also created an image of herself as someone who sets her own terms, be it in the re-recording of her albums so that she could get the rights to them back, be it in the endorsing of candidates that she believes in, like Kamala Harris, be it in expressing in very sort of intimate and personal ways her experiences and her emotions.
All right, and let's talk about Taylor Swift's authenticity or lack thereof.
Yeah, last December, right in the midst of the Eras Tour, Swift was named the Time Person of the Year. And on that occasion, Hannah Williams of the New Statesman wrote an article that went viral about Swift's embodiment of feminism. And she argued that it's empowering, but it is also hollow and crafted, that it's a careful staging of authenticity, because she argues that Swift's feminism never goes beyond the serving of herself or the serving of Taylor Swift. She says, quote, Swift's recordings could have been a demand for collective change in the music industry, but in reality, they seem a little more than an exercise in egotism, greed, and repackaging as empowerment. Another example of this criticism over Swift is how she copyrighted the terms "female rage" the musical for the second leg of her Eras tour. Some critics say that Swift has painted a very white, non-inclusive, and privileged image of what anger is for women. Meanwhile, others say that's not it at all. Wait a minute, she's helping paint a multifaceted portrayal of womanhood, and that women can be expressed and can express themselves in many ways. And then sort of by talking about rage and patriarchy, she's bringing such ideas back to the table in a mainstream way.
All right, and finally, Solange, there's been much talk about how Swift's tour has altered the music industry and what the future holds.
Yeah, not only has there been a ton of speculation about what Swift will do next and whether she'll use this trademark term, female rage the musical, in a film, in theater, or not at all, but there's also been a lot of digging into what worked so well here and why. So the music industry can reproduce this actually for other artists in the future. For Swift alone accounts, get this, for 2% of the US market. That is bigger than genres like jazz. And here executives have learned that 3.5 hour plus shows, they work, especially those that with strong entertainment elements. They also help justify the hefty price tag of the tickets as people like them as a lived-in experience. The industry has also seen how to create a following for other musicians by launching those acts mid-concert, like Swift did for Sabrina Carpenter and Gracie Abrams, who saw their Spotify numbers skyrocket after playing with her on stage. Music execs say that Swift has given them a formula of sorts about how to create the next generation of stars. She's been a wake-up call as well about the need to focus better on what women want from concerts. And finally, many say that Swift, her success is a reminder of the global desire to take a break, that the world needs to take a break, and they want to have, alongside thousands of other people, a moment of joy and have it be in unison.
All right, well, I have to take the Swifties' word for it, having not been to the Eras Tour myself.
Me neither, but I've read quite a bit about it. It sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Solange Moujane, for that.